about languages and legal education is the topic for discussion today in English language. This is general lectures designed to all law students, candidates appearing for judicial service examination and persons who have been appointed as law teachers recently. I sincerely and honestly tell you, dear student friends, these general lectures are much more important than the lectures of various subjects I have uploaded so far. So you will be able to know what to read, what not to read, how to do the best, how to get your attempts fructified towards right direction. I have been enlightening through these general lectures. Just like the words of doctor would serve better in curing the disease of the patient. Similarly, the words of an advocate gives more strength to the client to get him relieved from grief as a consequence of loss he sustained in litigation. Similarly, anything advised to client by a trader or any other personnel. So I sincerely tell you, dear friends, don't neglect my general lectures. They are very important for you, not only for legal studies, academic life, but also in your regular course of life. Now, coming to the topic, languages or significance of languages, importance of languages, we can say. Before dear friends, the apex regulating authority, the highest regulating authority of legal education in entire India is the Bar Council of India, which was established under the Advocates Act. Without the approval, but for the approval of Bar Council of India, no center of legal education, whether it is a private college, aided or unaided, university college or university law department, private law school or any other prestigious law school in India, will not be able to impart legal education. But because the main object, the primary object of prosecuting legal studies is to start career in as advocate in, but for recognition by apex authority of Bar Council of India, your degree will not entitle you to do practice anywhere in India. So that is why the centers of legal education includes law colleges, aided or unaided, government law colleges run by the government, aided law college, unaided college means run by private management 100%. Aided law college means colleges are managed by private management and funds are provided by the government, namely salaries and funds for other infrastructure facilities, limited items. Then university law department, here university law college. In some college universities, university college of law is there. In some universities, department of law or faculty of law is there. So that university which is imparting legal education must have been recognized by the University Grants Commission. And similarly, other autonomous colleges or law school, whatsoever may be, they must be accorded by the respective university which is recognized by the UGC and ultimately approved by the law. If UGC doesn't recognize that degree is not valid, if Bar Council does not accord recognition or affiliation, the degree is not eligible. The person holding the degree will not be eligible to put practice anywhere in India. So with regard to importance of languages, under this concept. Here, the apex regulating authority of centers of legal education in India, consistently and unstintedly directing the managements of the college to impart legal education in English, exclusively in English. However, the LLB course is being conducted exclusively in English in most of the centers of legal education. However, in some centers of legal education, law college or university faculty, but the student is given an option to write the examination either in English language or in a regional language, namely Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, etc. So, because of the overwhelming love and affection over the regional language, those state governments and universities concerned are allowing the students to write examination in law both in English media and regional language, maybe Marathi or Kannada or Hindi or other language. The student is given an option, and in some states are also permitting the students to write the examination, judicial service examination in local language and English, either of the two. So this is this thing. Now, so far as this language is concerned, why some states or universities are constrained to allow the students to write the exam either in English or in local languages? They have overwhelming love and affection over the regional language or mother tongue. Secondly, suppose any language, any subject can be better understood in mother tongue. Any subject can be better understood in mother tongue. We cannot deny a mother tongue or legal education for learning any particular subject. We all Indians, but our mother tongue is not English. But being qualified, we will be able to know. So we can have good knowledge over English in spite of that. So the how you can understand in mother tongue, you cannot understand in English language. For instance, there may be so many persons who are very fluent in English, having good command over the English language, but some of them or majority of them won't be able to understand clearly the dialogues in English movie and language used by some foreigners. That is because of because the mother tongue, if it is in mother tongue, one can understand very well. For example, I can simply speak Hindi or Marathi. For example, I know some 100 words, 50 to 100 words in Marathi, 50 to 100 words in Hindi. Those words I jumble it and speak and manage outside. For outgoing, I will be able to manage in the market. But the other man who is a Marathi by birth, whose mother tongue is Marathi by birth, whose mother tongue is Hindi by birth, will have hundreds of crores of words in his mind. He will be able to use any word. But I'll be able to speak out what I want. But when he speaks Hindi or Marathi using a variety of words, I won't be able to understand. That is why. So there is no wrong to learn any subject in mother tongue or regional language for the purpose of knowing the language only. However, the English language or Hindi language should not be denied because they are the most important languages in the country. If the mother tongue is the greatest language, which includes Hindi, Hindi is great language for the other regions, and English is also great language in international level. So that is why one must love his mother tongue or regional language, how he loves his mother. One must love his love Hindi if it is if your mother tongue and both are same, one must love Hindi like father, how he loves his father. Similarly, one must love English how he loves his life partner. That these three are very very important because we are in a global village. We are in a global village. Our movements or residence is not confined to particular area. We are moving all over the state, all over the country, and different parts of the country. Even though parent doesn't move after when these children settle outside country, outside state, invariably they have to go there, stay with them. Then the knowledge in Hindi and English are very very essential. Another thing, suppose when once any language, English language is not practiced. So dear, in this connection I wish to tell you that some of the students of my Telugu states are expressing their difficulty. They studied Telugu in mother tongue, that is Telugu. They studied up to degree or intermediate 12th standard in Telugu media. 5 years course they joined law in English medium, which is compulsory English medium. 3 years course students say that they are forced to study BL in English medium. They are not able to understand. They are expressing lot of difficulty over English. In this connection, I wish to tell you, dear friends, if you want to learn any language, you must have wholeheartedness. You must learn that wholeheartedly. If you learn any language wholeheartedly, whether it is Hindi or English, you will be able to learn it within 6 months to maximum 1 year. 1 year. If you don't show any interest in any particular language, you won't be able to learn that particular language, even if you stay in that particular area for 10 years or more than 10 years. For example, in this connection, I wish to tell you my personal example. Up to 12th standard, I studied in Telugu media, but I could not understand English. In 9th standard, 10th standard, classes were taught in English to English only. Our English teachers never used Telugu word. But similarly, in 12th standard, 11th standard and 12th standard, that is first year and second year intermediate, when I was studying this course, there for English 3 teachers were coming. What two teachers were teaching, I could not understand. But one teacher was teaching prose, English prose in a very simple language. I would able to listen very carefully, improve it, and then I started practicing. I was sometimes I was insulted for not I was insulted in classroom as I would not able to speak answer properly in English. Then I took it as a challenge, worked day and night, and would be able to speak English fluently in intermediate. Thereafter, I could not get MBBS seat. Then I joined BCom in English media, and thereafter I consistently started speaking. Ultimately, I participated in number of English debate competitions, intercollegiate and inter-university, and won prizes. So, if we don't show any interest, we cannot learn any subject. For this also, I give you an example. I have been residing in Maharashtra for the last 20 years. That is since 2004 January to till date, more than 20 years elapsed. I am not fluent in speaking Hindi or Marathi because I did not show any interest nor concentration due to my academic schedule, busy schedule as a principal, and also writing law books and teaching law subjects. I had to concentrate invariably English only. I had to neglect. I could not pay concentration for learning Hindi or Marathi. In case I would be able to speak Hindi or Marathi, I would have enjoyed a lot of privileges as a principal during service. Even today, if I will be able to speak Hindi very fluently, I would have uploaded in Hindi also all these 362 lectures. Today, there are 18,300 subscribers. I must be grateful to my student friends, viewers for reaching my channel to 18,300 18,300 subscribers, that is 18,290 plus, but it is going to be 18,300 in a day or two. So 18,300 subscribers. Most of this, because if my lectures are more than 1 hour lecture, and students were having a very limited data, are advised to download it in 5 minutes and follow it later, and most of them are sharing the after downloading, sharing it to his classmates and number of persons. In that way, I am very happy to note that the persons who are students who are utilizing my lecture are in lakhs. I am very glad. This all credit goes to my viewers who have acknowledged my service. Dear friend, don't think that it is self-boasting. This type of I have decided to sacrifice my life absolutely on service motto, without expecting even single pipe. Despite ample of opportunities to earn lakhs of salary, I don't like to join anywhere till last day of life. I pray sincerely, God, get me enough strength to serve you. I will do service. So the knowledge aspirants, those who are knowledge aspirants, follow my lectures, each and every lecture. They are, I'm sure, I am ready to give in a bond paper, stamped paper, that they will acquire very good knowledge. They will be able to become judge directly. I am sincering in all general lectures to tell my advising my student, watch all my lectures during teaching career, during student career of 3 years or 5 years, and at least one lecture in 3 days or one lecture in 2 days. After completing your LLB degree, you don't go as a junior advocate anywhere. You go, you join, if you get seat, you join LLM, and try to get LLM degree in local one coaching center of judicial service you join. But that coaching center, my lectures will help you get first class in LLM, and also help them to get through NET, university eligibility test for lecturership or assistant professorship, and there is also every possibility to become a judicial officer directly. So if you don't get LLM seat, there you go for coaching center 1 year. Instead of joining a junior advocate, 1 year coaching center, they will tell you various question papers and how to prepare the exam. How, of course, they won't be able to teach you nearly 30 subjects in that particular coaching period of 6 months to 1 year. They will give you tips, and those tips and my lectures, 262 lectures, will enable you to learn subject. So another thing I want to tell you, dear friend, but don't think that when 3 criminal laws are introduced, all old criminal laws are totally vanished. So far many laws are some laws were decodified. When IPC CRPC was originally 1898, when it is decodified in 1973, same provisions, most of the provisions appeared in 1973 CRPC with change of section numbers. The Indian Companies Act 1956 was there. It is decodified in the year 2013, and it is the old sections are repeated in the new act. So similarly, IPC, CRPC evidence, these 3 criminal laws have been recodified in the year 2023, namely BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Saksha Adhiniyam, Bharatiya Suraksha Nagarik, all these things. Though the provisions may be slight difference is there, but Indian Evidence Act 167 plus 18 sections, additional section 185. In new act 170 sections are there. In CRPC, more than 500 sections. Earlier 484 sections for so many ABCDs. IPC 511 sections, ABCDs together 576. But here in now they reduced to 300 plus. So whatever it may be, mostly the same provisions will remain unchanged. The law can never be changed. The so-called laws are great laws, which were which were codified by the great personalities during British regime. That is in 1800. Before these so-called IPC is more than 60 years old. CRPC, all these acts. Suppose the 1860 IPC. Today, how many years? More than 200 centuries old, but still they are being repeated for next in different form. So that is why never think that the old laws are absolutely outdated. Suppose, can anybody change theories and kinds of punishment in IPC? No. Can anybody change the principle of joint liability? Can anybody change the principle of constructive liability? Can anybody change abatement and ways of abatement by instigation, abatement by conspiracy, abatement by intentional aiding? Those commons are things. So murder, rape, kidnapping, all these things. In view of the changing condition, they may bring out some certain changes, but ultimately the subject will remain unchanged in over. So that never think that the so-called old criminal laws are absolutely outdated, and most of the provisions are being updated in a revised form for the convenience of the present structure in court. So these three criminal laws. I will take special class. What was the old Evidence Act? What is new Evidence Act? What are the various changes brought about? Similarly, IPC, Sanhita, CRPC, Suraksha Nagarikata. These three books, I will. What are the various developments? I will. That is the reason why every new Bear Act, every new textbook being released contains comparative table of what was the section number in IPC, what is the section number in BNS, what is the present section in BNS, what is the section number in old IPC. So this is the issue so far as the subject is concerned, dear friend. One more thing I want to tell you about the greatness of language. So suppose there is an official who was a postgraduate in engineering or management or any prestigious course, who studied, who was very, very fluent in English. When he joined as an officer in any government organization or private organization, as an officer in a particular area where the regional language is absolutely loud and English is not entertained, though he was at the time of joining office, though he was very good, he has very good command over the English, when once after joining the service, if he consistently happened to speak the regional language, it may be Hindi or any other language, for 30 to 40 years, after retirement, he finds it very difficult to speak English also, he forgets the language. Similarly, if a man who passed typewriting higher in first class stops typing for 20-30 years, when once he is given, he is asked to type, he won't be able to type anything. He cannot find out, he cannot decide how to type A to Z and Z to A, because the letters are arranged in a different form. What you know, dear friends, just like the keyboard of computers today. So that is the reason why every language is great. When you stay in other state, try to learn that particular language. If a man belongs to Andhra, happens to settle in Chennai, he should learn Tamil. If a resident of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, happens to reside in Bangalore, in Karnataka, he should learn Kannada. Similarly, in North Indian state like UP, MP, he should learn Hindi. Overall, everybody should naturally know very well about the mother tongue, that is regional language. At the same time, if his mother tongue is Hindi, he is lucky, but the knowledge in Hindi and English are very, very important as a qualified person to move anywhere in India. So, dear friends, don't neglect English and Hindi. In addition to your, you must learn both of them in addition to your mother tongue, that is regional language, and treat your mother tongue like mother. Treat your Hindi like that of your father. Love English like that of your light partner. So with this, I want to complete my voice and advise tips on the significance of and importance of language. That is the reason why the Bar Council of India consistently and unstintingly pressing the centers of legal education to impart legal education in English media only. So, however, some states, for the purpose that the students will be able to better understand, allowed the universities and states allowed them to write exam, LLB, and as well as judicial service in local language. So, this is with reference to language, dear friends. Now, um, coming to the with reference legal education, first part is language, second part is centers of legal education. Centers of legal education, dear friends, you know, the most normally you don't think otherwise, excuse me if necessary. Normally speaking, any parent wants his son or daughter to be bright and meritorious. When once his son or daughter is found to be bright and meritorious, they want to send the boy or girl to medical or engineering national institution or other course of good prospects, and normally the students who could not get who cannot be eligible to secure seat, you won't be able to secure seat in medical engineering and other prestigious course of high demand. They resort to law. And of course, even the great lawyers or judges, they in order to make their son or daughter as their successors, though their daughter or son will get medical seat or engineering seat, they will put them in law because they want to make them as their successors. So they know the greatness and importance of legal profession. That is why they want to make their son or daughter as their successor and put them in law only. From the beginning, the legal education was important only in university faculties, state government university faculties, or faculties only, in some law colleges in state aided by the government. But in course of time, as population increases, the centers of legal education have been increasing time to time. In the year 1986, the National Law School of India University was started in Bangalore University campus under the auspices of the then Vice Chancellor Dr. N.R. Madhav Menon. He was termed as the father of that legal education in that particular field, is what you can check. So after that, so many centers of legal education, national law schools were started. Subsequently, Calcutta he started under his guidance, and Jodhpur, Delhi, so many places, Cuttack, in so many Maharashtra, 3 law schools are there. So many law schools have been established from time to time. So in all these law schools, to get seat is something difficult when compared to getting seat in these university faculties and private law colleges, because here in these national law schools, mostly the students are intelligent students, very intelligent and bright students, because most of them or almost all of them prosecuted their education, high school education and secondary education in prestigious English medium schools, global schools and international schools. They have very good command over the language. So far as the language is concerned, they have very good command over the subject. But so far as the teachers are concerned, if the teachers also educated in global school, international school, LLB, LLM in national law school, they will be able to have wonderful command over the language if the teachers are from normal colleges, normal traditional colleges. So their language, the students' language would be command of students' language would be better than more these teachers. who are from centers of ordinary centers of legal education. So that is why here the language is not important. The knowledge in law is more important. The knowledge in law is more important. Even though the student is from a global school or international school, he must have knowledge over the subject. So to have good knowledge over the subject, the student is expected to attend 30 subjects during LLB course for 3-year course, and 20 more for 5-year LLB integrated course. So 5-year LLB integrated course is something better, because in first 2 years the student will learn social science like history, economics, sociology, political science, 5 to 6 papers. He can have good command over that backing he will have. Suppose if BIP student joins 5-year law course, 12th standard biology, physical science student, he cannot have that much standard. So it is just like joining engineering after polytechnic and joining BCom after commerce, intermediate at 11th and 12th standard commerce, and joining 5-year LLB after 12th and 11th standard history, economics, politics. That is there. So however, the pre-law in first 2 years they are enlightened with social sciences like history, economics, political science, English, etc. It will have some backing. So even BA students, history, economics, political science, sociology, etc. The BA students join law, they will have they will be benefited. So ultimately both 3 years course and 5 years course are good if they have to learn the subject very carefully. Now dear friends, my lectures are above 1 hour, they may be boring. Today youth doesn't like to hear for a few minutes. Suppose an elderly person speaks something for half an hour, the youth tells no, don't speak all and cock and bull stories. Conclude it in 2 minutes, they are telling. So you are asking your teacher to conclude everything in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. How is it possible for you to attend 5 periods in classroom? So as a law student, in semester you will have 5 subjects. You are forced to attend 5 periods. Normally, according to my knowledge as a teacher and as a student in LLB, in those days there were 18 subjects, 1 semester, 3 subjects were there. 3 subjects, first 2 periods were attended by 1 teacher, 3rd period was attended by 1 teacher. Or first period attended by 1 teacher, 2nd and 3rd periods were attended by 2nd teacher. So there we invariably in so many institutions of legal studies, including in Maharashtra, Fulton, there 2 teachers, 2 periods are attended by 1 teacher, mean nearly 2 hours. 2 hours or 1 hour 40 minutes or 1 hour 50 minutes time is allotted to 1 teacher to teach. Of course, the teacher may take rest there may be so many incidental activities like taking attendance, writing something on board, telling something, speaking something like that. Ultimately the lecture may be 1 hour or around 1 hour, but still you are supposed to, once you have opted legal education, law course, legal studies, your subjects are 30 subjects in 3 years. Every year you will have 10 subjects. First semester 5 subjects, second semester 5 subjects. You have to attend 5 periods, but normally most of the students cannot pay concentration from 3rd period only. Most of the colleges and institutions, unless the head of the institution is very strict in conducting the 4th period, 3rd period, after 3rd period the classes get concluded. This is what generally take place as what I witnessed as a law student and a law teacher for so many decades. However, we would keeping in mind the law schools and prestigious institutions of legal studies, they give top priority to academics and they conduct classes very sincerely. They conduct law course very excellently. In such course, they are invariably, they must press the students to attend 5 periods or 5 classes. For this purpose, the authorities also know somehow or other it may be difficult for the student to sit 5 hours consistently to attend and 5 periods, so that they will take up so many activities, so many academic activities, group discussion, seminars, conferences, whatnot, so many things, and get the students' attention diverts towards right way, so that they will be able to complete 5 periods. They conduct 2 sessions. First morning session some 3 periods, afternoon sessions 2 maybe 2 periods, and middle they will have so many academic activities they do, so that they will be able to maintain. Dear student friend, today we have good number of national law schools, prestigious institutions of legal studies, but I sincerely advise the students of private law colleges, aided, unaided, and university department to compete on par with the national law schools only, national law school students only. So you please make use of my even. I am given to understand that the students of national law school are utilizing my books and lectures. I am very glad and grateful to you, grateful to them. Make use of my lectures. This type of lectures I have started for the first time with an inspiration that many more lectures will come forward to do this type of activity, because in number of centers of legal education, the faculty position is very poor and miserable. In private institutions, pure private institutions, national law schools and other places, the faculty, there is adequate number of teachers, but in aided colleges and university law departments, the number of teachers is very poor. In some places, not even 10% or 20%. The students are managing on their own, having witnessed this situation that the faculty position is very poor. Students are preparing on their own. Why? Because at least let the students who show interest to learn subject, such students also may watch my lectures and listen to my lectures and learn subject with that inspiration, even for the benefit of those students who love subject, who love their law and to learn the subject, at least will listen to me. And with that inspiration only, after my retirement, I never joined any job despite handful of opportunities and handsome salary. I am absolutely utilizing my time for this, and I am bringing out some prestigious works entirely for the benefit of the student. When once I write a book, I sincerely, by God promise, tell you, dear friends, I melt my blood and flesh to give you cream of the subject. Though originally I released 30 pages of, I had an opportunity to teach number of students in 28 subjects for so many years. Thousands of students I rendered service when I was an assistant professor in my CRD Law College, Elur, Andhra Pradesh, and even after that also I started teaching all the 28 subjects. With this inspiration, I had to release study material of 30 to 40 subjects in each subject. That subject, when I approached one leading publisher in Asia House, Hyderabad, he expressed his willingness to, he expressed his inclination to print out them in textbooks, and some of them are revised. And when once I write the cream, I write meaning and then one or two definitions, best definition and ingredients and everything systematically. While writing book, I take the books of prestigious authors, reputed authors, where particular heading, how that author has written, what this author has written, what is that, 4-5 books I will take. I will consolidate the contents of all these things. I used to write it with my own hands in a very simple style, lucid way, to the best satisfaction of ordinary student. That is the reason why I could take that much strain. This smallest author could become reputed author with the blessings and help, cooperation of all of you, dear friends. So this is what I want to tell you. So dear friend, when you take LLB admission, after getting admission, you are supplied with some college booklet, prospectus booklet or college calendar, like that. So that booklet contains the syllabus of first semester to last semester. After showing the syllabus, they will be given some reference books. they will be given some, there will be in the list of reference books will be given. In arranging syllabus also, there is some deviation what I could not understand properly as a teacher, because the serial order got diverted in certain areas in some subjects. However, and here they give some list of books, the names of great authors. Great author. The language of those books is very difficult. Unless one has very good command over the English, they won't be able to understand those books also. Even some teachers also may not find it possible to refer these books. They take some Indian authors and prepare for the teacher. I too one among them. I preferably I probably take the books of prestigious Indian authors rather than English authors. I also refer them slightly, but more I depend on Indian authors' books, so that the language will be up to our level. So that is why if the student has extraordinary command over the subject, they may refer any textbook. For example, H.M. Sherway is the standard highest book of highest standard in constitutional law. If even a student can read it, it is very good. If the student doesn't have that much capacity, he need not think about it. Because suppose when once you want to purchase a vehicle, you should think yourself whether you are able to drive scooty only, you take scooty. When you are able to drive scooty or motorcycle or sports bike, if you are competent to drive sport bike, you take sports bike. Otherwise, if you are not that much competent in driving two-wheeler, you satisfy with this scooty only. That is why I tell you, dear student, what are the books to be purchased or taken. You learn from your teachers and your senior student, and if whatever books are suggested for a particular subject, you go through that particular subject, 3 or 4 subject, so for 3-4 books by different authors, either in your library or in a bookshop. When you go to bookshop on a particular subject, you take the that particular book of different author, you choose, you read over them, and you read first chapter and middle chapter and last chapter, 3 few lines, whether that language and contents are consistent to your mind, whether the contents of that language can be digested easily to your knowledge. Then you choose that particular book. You choose that particular book and purchase it. What book is suitable to your standard, you take it. To the best of your as far as possible, you take the latest book published in that particular year. Still you want latest development, you will have to refer the internet for latest development. So because the developments may take place by the time the author completes writing, and during printing time some more developments may be there. That is why some publisher while releasing the book enclose some CD or some small booklet covering the latest developments. So when Companies Act was passed and came into force in February 2013, within 6 months, so many amendments were there. That amendments were supplied by the publishers along with the booklet. So even not provided, if you see the internet, you will be able to find out the latest development. However, even if you purchased by mistake the old book, most of the contents are old only. Those the general subject, they are okay, because when you are reading particular subject, when you are preparing for some subject, there are cases of 1950 and earlier. King bench decisions are there, Queen bench decisions are there, House of Lords decisions are there, House of Commons decisions are there, till they are valid. So for such things, the outdated books also may be useful, but for overall, you have to take latest book as far as possible. Which book is suitable? Even if you don't like my book is not suitable, consistent to your mind and language, knowledge, you need not purchase my book also, dear friend. What I want is my students should get benefited from the best source of book only, but I don't like you to get your interest diverted for my selfish end. So dear students, friends, this is what I want to tell you as a teacher when you want to prepare a book. So whether you don't think that people say that that book is good, this book is good, so that thinking that you take any book, it may be 500 pages or 1000 pages or more than 1000 pages. When exam to exam you are given, oh, you don't have only much time. One day, today one exam, tomorrow one exam. In some places, one day gap may be there. In rarest cases, 2 days gap is there. In during that short time, you won't be able to read the entire book containing 500 pages or 1000 pages in case you follow that particular book. But whatever book you follow as per your standard, you prepare a notes of around 50 to 100 pages, making side headings and everything, because to write anything, so one may prepare a big book containing so many things, but for writing, the student alone will have to write without seeing anything. Because you please note that once you follow big book, you won't be able to refer the book containing 500 pages, 1000 pages and above, because you don't have much time. You will have to face the exam in a day or two. So for that purpose, if you would have already prepared a working notes of containing 100 pages or less than 150 to 100 pages, we containing section head cases, list of cases, underlining cases, section numbers, etc., you will be able to refer it very quickly and answer it, because for writing as it is, you must get that particular area by hearted. Suppose don't think that, suppose then this is one thing. So the books are of the authors write books in two categories are there. Some authors write book in chapter wise, some other writes book in section wise. Other books in section wise. So the other chapter wise section books are designed to students appearing for the exam. The section books wise books are designed to acquire more in knowledge in depth. For example, I tell you. So for chapter wise, the serial order of sections need not be followed. Take the case of Contract Act, Contracts 1, section 1 to 75 is sections. So if it is section-wise act number, first section 1, bare act contents are given, its explanation is given. Just like in our boyhood education, poem is there, poem summary will be there. The student cannot understand the meaning of poem. If he reads the summary, he will be able to understand. Like that, the other section 1 is there. Section 1 meaning is given under comment with the heading of comment, notes or other explanation with some comment. The first section 1 contents from bare acts are reproduced with the illustration and explanation is given. Likewise, each and every section from first section to last section are reproduced. For section 1 to section 75 is reproduced. Section is reproduced, its explanation is given with section is reproduced, contents of section is reproduced with illustration and explanation is given. The explanation is given depending upon the author to author. In the particular section, one author may give five cases footnote, another author may give 10 cases footnote, some other author may give 20 cases footnote. So when any contents of bare act are reproduced in a textbook, there is no any copyright, it can be reproduced as this. Any footnotes can be, any number of footnotes can be reproduced in a book. There need not be anything. Whatever explanation is given by the author is original. Suppose section 5 is there, the author gives explanation for that is original. For that explanation, in footnote cases are there, the footnotes are also need not be original, because there are in a particular section different kinds of sections are there. In Evidence Act, a child witness is there. The child witness related number of sections are there with different points. So same point to different section, one should not do it, because in one child witness one circumstance is there, in second child witness another circumstance is there, and suppose section 25 statement, confessional statement made by accused to police and expressing his willingness, show the give clue, all these things, that 27 is now included into 25 present section. So 27 is shown as the proviso. So So on that also there will be hundreds of cases will be there. As many cases will be there. The number of cases are for the purpose of acquiring more and knowledge in that particular subject. But under one particular section, you need not write 10 cases, 20 cases, etc. As a law student, your requirement is something. As a lawyer, judge, your requirement is anything. Suppose when the lawyer or judge refers all these cases, good number of cases, one section, one case he will attract, we will receive, which is related to his present case, and basing on that citation, he will go for All India Reporter or Criminal Journal or other sources. They will see that particular judgment in a number of pages. It may be 100 pages or more than 100 pages. He will read over that. He will some important points are noted with marker, like that is that. Dear friend, barely because of the reason that the book is very voluminous, but it will, as a law student, you can learn, because there are some law students who are possessing much more knowledge of the teachers. Some student friends are writing articles which are much better than the articles written by the professors. So even a student, if he has a wonderful comment over English and knowledge and standard, he may refer all the cases, and they are only for the purpose of acquiring more and more knowledge, not for presenting in the exam. If you happen to present all the 10 cases, 20 cases, you won't be able to justify all the questions asked within the period of 3 years, 3 hours. You have to cover all the questions within this. That is why, dear friend, whatever you know, you write in chapter wise. When you read a book, for chapter wise book, you take the meaning. What section that particular chapter will come, you have to write, and what is the meaning, is the Latin maxim, underlying source Latin maxim, or Latin words are there, that meaning you write. Next, you give the meaning in 3-4 lines, then you give best definition of 1 or 2, and under act there may be definition may be there, evidence is there, section 3 definition is there, for so many items, interpretation clause, the definition, some 2-3 definition you complete it, the one paragraph meaning, 1 or 2 paragraph, one big paragraph for 1 or 2 small paragraphs for 2 definition, then ingredient, like that you have to write. So in this connection, I want to tell you one best example. You take the contracts 1. Contracts 1, section 1 to 75 sections are there. If you write the book on contracts 1, section 1 to 75, you have to reproduce section 1, section 2, 1 to 7. When you have to reproduce a particular section, you have to give explanation, you have to give relevant decided cases also. You have to reproduce the contents of bare act with illustration. Then you have to explain one under heading comments or notes or explanation. You have to write the content overall explanation about that particular section. Next, you have to give the decided cases from footnotes of various sources, that is there. So for example, if suppose like that, from first section to 75 section, you have to proceed accordingly. Under that chapter 1, chapter 2, 6, 7 chapters are there. You have to proceed accordingly. And if you write the book as per chapter, which is mainly designed to students writing examination. So the students writing examination can pick out the best points under section 11 and 12. In a section wise, because section 11 and 12 are important relating to capacity of parties. Section 2D in that book relating in a section wise book, you concentrate more on section 2D, all cases and everything for better knowledge. It is useful for consideration. 2A, 2B for offer and acceptance, like that. Section 25 to 30 for public policy, void contracts, like that you can take. But here in a chapter-wise book, if you write chapter, suppose we simply write meaning of contract, definition of contract. Meaning of contract, we write definition of contract with section 2H, and the best definition of overall definition of contract is section 10 we write. Then we go to first element, offer and acceptance, 2 and A. 2A, 2B. That 2A, 2B is first point is second chapter. Next consideration 2D, that will be next chapter. Section 11 and 12, that is is 11, 12 means from say section 2 we left, we never discussed about 3 to 8 sections, 3 to 10 section, 9 section, 10 section. We directly proceeded to section 11 and 12. We outweighted them like that. So this is what is called contract, meaning, definition, elements, kinds, one chapter. First element, offer of acceptance is second chapter. Third point, consideration is next chapter. 11 and 12, section 13 and 14, consent is next chapter. 11 and 12, capacity is next chapter. 13, 14, consent is next chapter. Flaws in consent, section 15 to 20 and 15 to 20 various flaws next chapter. Then section 25 to 30 void contract in next chapter. Every element, every requirement, every condition of a contract will be the following chapter. And when once contract is completed, it will complete it if it is this part from this performance. If the contract is successfully completed, it is performance. On performance, next chapter. If contract is not fulfilled, completed, successfully failed, it is breach of contract. On breach of contract, next chapter. So those things which do not connect, relate to this particular this thing, that is study, that is quasi contract, is how the other in chapter wise will write. But whereas the section wise man will write section 1 to 75, each and every section, bare act contents, illustration and explanation and supporting cases, they will proceed. This is the difference. This chapterization difference is useful for one thing, that's one thing. If you want a depth of knowledge, after this chapterization, you should go to section wise clarification for many more cases to acquire knowledge. So ultimately, whether you follow this book or that book, you have to prepare a working notes of your own for best performance in the examinations, dear friend. So this is with reference to law books, legal education, law books, centers of legal education. Regarding centers of legal education, dear friends, so here in India, very small legal center of legal education without minimum infrastructure is there. Colleges without any proper library, proper teachers are running in sheds. Colleges are there, their teachers are not there, students never attend. That colleges are being run, the examinations are conducted, degrees are awarded. Those students can, if it is that center of legal education is affiliated by the university, and that university is recognized by the University Grant Commission, and that law college is approved by the Bar Council, the degree is eligible to get enrolled as a law advocate. That man is eligible to do practice anywhere in India, right from this junior judge, junior civil judge court, civil judge junior court to apex court, Supreme Court of India, he can do practice. But if so, though he neglected his studies during their career, after becoming lawyer, he may learn subject. There are so many persons who negligently completed his law course, became responsible and started learning subject as an advocate, and those they became leading lawyers and judges. So similarly, when once you want to face the judicial service examination, today the bright students are there when in view of the emergence of many more law schools where legal education is conducted and organized very effectively. In order to face a student, you must work hard. As a lawyer, you may survive, but once you want to aspire for judicial service competitive exams, those students who studied in reputed colleges will prevail over you by virtue of their background in English background in their studies, another thing. So dear student friend, so many students are telling that I lag behind English language, my mother tongue is Hindi, I cannot understand English, my mother tongue is Telugu, I cannot understand English, like that they're telling it is not correct. So when first standard convent student or student studying in global school or international school is able to excellent English, wonderful English, a a small kid with 1 year experience. Of course, LKG, UKG or junior KG, senior KG may be here. In second year or third year of his, hardly within 1 year after going school, a small kid is able to speak fluent English. You are an enlightened person. You are majors. You are around 80-year-old. You are around 20-year-old. Don't excuse me, 80-year-old. No, you are about 20-year-old, more or less. Oh, you don't have very good maturity. Overall speaking, our law students are brighter than any other faculty, because our great leaders of India who brought independence and all, who actively participated in freedom struggle, there are greatest personalities in India are law graduates. So our law students are very bright. They are no way less. But can't you learn English subject if you are serious? If you are serious in learning subject, it is English. Within 6 months to 1 year, you will be able to speak. Whenever you happen to stay in other state, you will learn that subject, because every subject language you learn additionally, it will be an asset. It is an intellectual property. That is the reason why our late former Prime Minister of India, P.V. Narasimha Rao ji, was well appreciated and well recognized for the main reason, much more as his Prime Ministership, because he was well versed in all Indian languages. Wherever he addresses the gathering in any state, he used to deliver speech in that particular language, whether it is Hindi or Marathi, English, whatever, Tamil, Kannada, whatnot, all languages would able to deliver speech. So that is why P.V. Narasimha Rao ji was hailed or appreciated like anything. That gentleman is great in speaking all languages. So dear friend, don't neglect any language. Respect every language. Every language will be your asset. Never say that my language is great. If Telugu man tells that, some poet said, among all languages, Telugu is the greatest. But Telugu man will agree, but other language man, we can never agree, can never acknowledge it. Marathi person tells Marathi is the greatest, Kannada person tells Kannada is the greatest, Hindi person tells Hindi is the greatest. Though your language is great to you, my language can never be great to you. So this is what the generally accepted universal principle. So dear friend, so that is why, so don't feel unhappy that you don't find an opportunity to study in the centers of legal education of high standard. But if you work hard, if you make use of your cell phone, internet, if you can, you will be able to receive the lectures of teachers of high standard from national law schools. They also deliver lecture. They deliver lectures in person to their students who paid lakhs of fee. But they also deliver lectures online, which are available free of cost to you, dear friend. So if you make use of your time for better purpose, you will be able to flourish. And ultimately and finally, I want to tell you, dear friend, never go to, MBBS students struggle more than 5 years after MBBS. After completing MBBS, they are not given MBBS degree. They are given clean certificate that he completed MBBS. Because if he gives them certificate, he will run over to corporate hospital and start working there. So he should be asked to undergo some internship, do rural service, to do service in hospital and all. After doing all that only, he is issued MBBS degree. Thereafter, MBBS is not enough. They have to study some PG. Getting PG is more critical than getting MBBS seat. Those who cannot get a PG seat, they think that today if we go anywhere with MBBS degree, nobody will care. Nobody will care a pin to us. We must do PG necessarily. That is why the one who wants to get PG seat must melt his blood and flesh to get PG seat. Otherwise, he has to spend crores of rupees to purchase a PG seat. Even after that is after 12th standard, where doctor has to spend nearly 10 years. After completing post-graduation, he will have to work in some corporate hospital for a salary only of 50,000 or 1 lakh. But Here, our law students comparatively less in merit when compared to medical engineering and nationalist student. But still, you will have bright future because an IAS officer is controlled by a high court judge. An IAS as a high court judge, when once IAS is acknowledged as the greatest position in India as a whole. All people right from bottom to top acknowledges civil service as the topmost because postgraduate doctors, the postgraduate engineering MBS in reputed national institutes, and all bright students in India of all faculties appear for UPSC, and achieving civil service is described as an achievement is what. But however, our law is comparatively less, but the competition is confined only to law students only, law graduates only. But when once you become civil judge, within 5 years you can appear for additional ADJ post, or as an advocate within 7 years standing you can appear for ADJ post. Suppose once suppose there is a gentleman, his son tells him, Daddy, I got through IAS top rank, and at the same time I got a selection for ADJ. Which you want me prefer? The father can comfortably say, join ADJ, don't join IAS. Why? Because the highest position in IAS is cabinet chief secretary and state level, cabinet secretary central level. He will be subordinate to ministers. He must act according to the directions of his superiors. When once you become a high court judge, you are appointed by you are not appointed by any government. You are appointed high court judge to Supreme Court. They are appointed by the Supreme Court collegium, and the appointment is confirmed by the President of India. No one can remove the High Court judge or Supreme Court judge. For that purpose, the 2/3 majority of Parliament alone can impeach and move. Then only he can be removed. Even if the Prime Minister of India in a cabinet council of meeting, cabinet meeting, council of ministers headed by Prime Minister recommends president rule, and the president rule is approved by the president, and a president rule is imposed in a particular state. The High Court judge, if it is challenged in the local High Court, the High Court judge can declare it unconstitutional. Is what we received we had number of cases in SR Bommai case. That is what the great supremacy has been conferred on our lawmen, but unfortunately our lawmen are not able to make use of it. Dear friend, so such a greatness or supremacy has been conferred. You need not get disappointed for not getting a medicine seat or any engineering top seat, but if you can make use of your LLB degree, you will be able to flourish like anything, provided you must be careful, you must respect your law course, you must have an inclination, strong inclination to learn the law subject. Then only you can comfortably become a big judge, dear friend. So thank you very much for your patient hearing. I sincerely tell you again and again, my lectures are general lectures are very, very important. They will give you wonderful guidance. Never think that this Ragaro Surya Rao is a pagal man, he is speaking some nonsense, he is hammering, like that. Never say, dear friend. Please respect my words, because like your, not as a teacher, like your uncle and well-wisher, I am trying. But from my side, I struggle. I have enjoyed a lot of fruits from this service. I was honored like anything. So I treated the honor I got, the respect I got is nothing. Is absolutely volume of money is absolutely nothing before the love, affection and honors are received by doing this service. Thank you. That is why I am giving top priority, only priority to do service absolutely on service. So I promise to work hard and deliver all the lectures. But the judge exam and all, there are so many subjects are there. But anyway, I first of all I will have to cover these evidence. I have covered almost after for judicial service training LLB classes. Earlier I took completed some particular subject in 10 classes. But when once I started for judicial service, I am taking more than 20 to 25 classes. Really 120 lectures I have taken for this evidence, and again a few more lectures are there, so hardly 4 or 5 lectures I will complete it. Then I will give comparative study of 3 criminal laws, and thereafter it is very difficult to complete all the remaining subjects. What I want to do is I will give summary. Suppose domestic violence act, I will give one summary. Family law, family courts act, one I give one summary. I will give subject summary first, and we'll go there side by side. When once the independent chapters are not available, when once go through the summary of subject, and then he will be able to understand everything. That much I tell you. Many students are asking me, do you teach this and teach that? It is not difficult, it is not so easy, dear friend. So teaching in classroom is different. Uploading lecture in YouTube is different. This requires lot of preparation. If we don't have any preparation, we'll be able to manage in this thing. But because I never see anything, because if I write working notes for giving lecture, but if I see it, my attention gets diverted. I won't be able to complete all the volume within the time of 1 to 1.5 hours. That is why I don't leave it, and mostly I close my eyes and speak like a blind man, because if I see anything, my attention gets diverted. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. You please make use of my lecture. When once you happen to attend all the lecture, never think that 1.5 hour boring. When once you suppose you are a regular student, you must go to college, attend 5 classes. So instead of attending 5 classes or attending 3 classes, the length of my lecture is not that much boring. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your patient hearing.